Okay, I just want to start off this tutorial by saying I posted a little video on a little 3D screen capture thing that I made, and there were a few comments saying how this must be real difficult to do using open source and being in Linux, and it's a lot easier to do stuff like this in Mac, and Blender is difficult to learn. So first thing I just want to say is there's no such thing as hard to or difficulty when it comes to software. And what I mean by that, it's not like a sport where you may know how to play baseball, but that doesn't mean that you can play baseball. Computers are buttons and keys. Once you know how to do something, you can do it. There's no difficulty level to it. And also, Blender is not difficult to learn. It's difficult to learn all of Blender because there's a lot to learn, but each individual thing is not hard to learn, so you just need to learn what you want to do. That being said, I'm going to show you how to do this, and I've only got 15 minutes, but I think I can do it because it's not that hard. So, I've already took the screen capture, some videos and some still shots. This is something you're going to have to do regardless of what software you use to create this 3D screencast. You have to get the shots beforehand before you start editing it. I've already done tutorials on screen capturing, but use whatever screen capturing program you like for stills and videos. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to hit T to get rid of that menu there. Delete. Then I'm going to hit spacebar and type in plane, and I'm going to use the import images as plane. That's something you have to enable. It comes with Blender, but it's not enabled by default. You go up to File, User Preferences to enable that under Add-ons. I've shown you that in many other videos. Okay, so now we're going to select the planes that we want to import. But I'm also going to make sure I want to use alpha, although I don't think any of my images have alpha, and pre-multiply. Let's go screencast, and we're going to start off. This is just someone's desktop. I got this off of Google search. I could have captured my own, but I'd rather not. I'm going to hit N here to bring up this side menu, and by the way, I'm using Blender 2.60. And I'm going to go display, and I'm going to turn on GLSL and textures. That allows me to see the textures while I'm editing it here, and to remove that, I'm going to go 1 on my number pad to go to the front view here, and then I'm going to type in camera. Also, you'll notice in the bottom left corner of the screen, you can see everything I'm typing. So now I'm going to align the camera to here. I'm going to scale this up right about there. Let's hit F12, see what that looks like. Oh, it's black because of where the lighting is. Now, I'm not going to use a lighting source. I'm going to delete our default lighting source. And under World, I'm going to choose to turn on Ambient Occlusion, Multiply, and Environment Lighting. Now I can hit F12, and we can see that fine. I also want to make the background, the horizon, black. Just my preference. I think it looks better for what we're doing right here. So we already got a 3D desktop here. Let's throw in some 3D windows. We're going to hit spacebar and type in plane again. Import plane as image. Once again, use alpha pre-multiply. And in this case, I'm going to pull up a little web browser here. TuxB, that's what I named the PNG. RX, type 90 on the numpad to rotate that 90 degrees. 3 to side view, and F to get out of perspective mode. Grab it on the y-axis and move it up like so. And now we have our first 3D window here. I'm going to do the same thing, spacebar, use alpha pre-multiply. You notice we're doing the same thing over and over again, so you already know how to do the rest of this tutorial. But in this case, I'm going to choose a video. Rotate X 90. And I'm going to grab that on the y-axis and move it forward. And at this point, I'm going to pull out with that panel or with that plane selected, and I'm going to go to the texture panel here. Material plane, then texture. There we go. And I'm just going to say match movie length and auto refresh because it's a video, so it has so many frames. Otherwise, it would just have it as a still image there. So now we have 260 frames in this little clip here. Let's start animating these windows. I'm going to rotate, no, actually at first I'm going to go to where I want this window to be. And this is all just how fast you want the animation to be. I'm hitting shift up arrow to jump 10 frames at a time. And I think at about 100 frames, I'm going to have set a keyframe here, hitting I and location, rotation, and scale. I'm going to go down 20 frames. I'm going to rotate this window. I'm going to scale this window. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it and I'm going to move it down here so it looks like it kind of comes out of the toolbar. And I'm going to set a keyframe there. At this point we can hit Alt-A and you can see that animation. Perfect. Let's grab this tux window here. And I'm going to go down a few keyframes to probably frame 20. I'm going to set a keyframe for that. And then I'm going to go back to the first frame. And I'm going to scale that down, rotate it. In fact, scale it down a little bit more. And I'm going to grab it and move it off the bottom of the screen here and set a keyframe for it. So now if I hit Alt-A, it flies in. And a little bit later, our other window will fly in as well. Now we don't just want to have them fly in. Let's make them move around a little bit. So somewhere in the middle here, actually probably right about where, right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose our panel in the back here and I'm going to scale it up some and set a keyframe so that it's constantly moving, gives it more of a 3D movement to it. Okay. So now I'm going to go up a few more frames. And I'm going to choose this window and I'm going to continue to scale it up so it has some movement to it. Now I am going to also set a keyframe for this one here. Lock it in. And I'm going to just go up 10 frames. I'm going to scale that one down. And I'm going to scale this one down, scale that one down a little bit more. In fact, I'm going to move it to here just to give it a little bit more of a, you can see both of them. I'm going to set a keyframe for both of these. Up 10 more frames. And I'm going to grab on the x-axis, move that one off. Grab on the x-axis, move that one off. Set a keyframe for that one. And a keyframe for that one. Let's import a couple more windows here. So I'm going to import one called Give Tools here, rotate X 90, scale it up, grab it, move it over. I'm going to grab it on the Y-axis and just move it up just a little bit. Do the same thing for another image called GIMP Tool 2. I forgot to use multiply and alpha on this. It doesn't really matter because there is no alpha on any of these, but if there was, we'd want that enabled. Grab on the Y-axis, move it up a little bit, X-axis, move it over. Okay, and then we're going to import another plane here, and this one's going to be a video, GIMP main, rotate X 90, grab on the Y-axis, move it up a little bit. Okay. So now, let me go down 10 frames, those are there. I'm going to go here, up 10 more frames, and I'm going to choose all three of these, set a keyframe for them, and go back down 10 frames, grab them on the Z-axis, move them all up, set a keyframe, and then grab this middle one, and I'm actually going to move it all the way down here and set a keyframe. So now if I press Alt-A, oh, I guess I didn't set that frame that I thought I did. Let's see. There we go. Now if I hit Alt-A, really? Grab, Z, move it down. I. Oh, because I set rotation. I need to set location, rotation, and scale. I was clicking on the wrong thing. There we go. So then at this point, I'm not going to have the windows move. Well, I mean, you could have the windows move. I'm kind of keeping everything kind of flat. You could make them move around a little bit more. In fact, at this point, though, I'm going to start moving the camera. But we want to set a position right here where the camera is still. So we'll set a keyframe for the camera. I'm going to go up 30 frames, which is a second. I'm going to zoom in, grab, and just look at the toolbar here. I'm going to hit I and set a keyframe for that. Then I'm going to go up 20 frames, I'm going to grab and move over here. And then I'm going to grab, did I set a keyframe? I can't remember. Let's set one just in case I didn't. And at this point, I'm just going to move up. Let's change the length of our entire video here. I'm going to set it to 300 frames. So I'm going to grab this camera. I'm going to move it. Well, let me see. How many frames do I want to go? All depends on how fast I want the camera to move. Let's actually rotate it a little bit. I did that in the original video. Let's see. Let's do a quick look at what we've got so far. I'm going to hit Alt-A. Got one window flying in here. I kind of spun a little too much. Same with that one there. I got them moving around a lot more than I did the original video. Okay, so far so good. And let's just jump to our last frame. That might be too far. We'll go here. Rotate on the Z-axis this way. Move out a little bit. Just jumping through the animation here. Let's play this here. It rotates this way, rotates out. And we'll just have it go back to its original position at the end here. Or at least somewhere around there. We'll go to our front view here. Camera, align camera to view. Grab and zoom in and move down. Set a keyframe and we should have... Okay, only one thing left to do. We're going to choose this plane here. Now because this plane has an animation on it and we want that animation to start when the camera zooms in on it actually. So let's go, so right about here we'll want this animation to start. So with that plane selected, let's go to its textured mode. We're going to say match movie length, auto cycle, and we're going to start, right now we're currently at frame 221, and that means the animation will actually start there. So the drawing on the image there, you can see it happening, which actually kind of goes past. I kind of made the ending a little short there. So we could actually maybe move this up so it's already drawing by the time the camera gets on there. We'll say 190. Anyway, I think I made this a little bit shorter than my original video. All we have to do now is choose Xvid and what we want to call it. I'll call it Screencast2 3D.avi, and I'm going to set it to I don't care, 1080p I guess. It'll just take longer to render. And I will click animate and it will start animating out that video. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Hope you found it useful. Hope that you have a great day. Please visit filmsbychris.com. That's Chris with a K. Should be a link in the description. And I'll post the final render of this video here in a second. Have a great day.